Okay, hey everybody, Ryan Hartman here with Reticulous. Thanks for being on. It's a little bit short notice today. We have a couple of cool guests from cityblast.com. We have Sean Nilsson. Hi, Sean,
Hey, how are you?
who is the founder, right? You're the proprietor over there.
Yep, co-founder along with my technologist partner, but yes, sir.
And then we have Grace Carroll, who is your like chief content strategist person.
Yep.
Hi, Grace.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being on, both of you. I kind of asked you. I thought this would be a good topic for our crowd here, and specifically what I called it in a webinar. I don't know if I nailed this, but it's 15 status update templates that you that can help you stay top of mind with your sphere of influence. And specifically, I think what we want to talk about is stuff you can post to your personal Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. That lets people know you're in the business of real estate and gives them a reason to maybe reach out to you if they're thinking about real estate, but that doesn't creep them out. Is that sort of what you guys do?
Yeah, exactly. We help agents with inbound marketing to your folks on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, but without focusing specifically on you. So it's not like typical advertising, which is me, me, me. Instead, we're using value-added content which other people enjoy to try to generate conversations and make you the focal point.
Great. And Grace, I'm really glad you're here too. I figured it'd be fun if we just jumped right in and one by one we're going to go through the different. I think the number's 15. The different types of posts that you guys put in your dashboard, or that you post for agents, one by one, and maybe you guys will just we can go back and forth and talk about the thinking behind each of those and how it helps. Uh,
Yeah, definitely. That sounds great.
so the first one here, I threw together this really fancy doc. This is not polished at all, but the first one here is an example post called, and the type of template here is called architecture and design. Uh, so it looks like what you got is something about architecture and design. Uh, how do these how do these usually play? Like why? It's not a house in their local area. It's about general architecture. Why would somebody want this on their personal profile?
Well, I think you can see it in the popularity of social media websites such as Pinterest. Pinterest is all about people putting together collections of images that inspire them and that they love and that they can use to inspire their own decor or their meals or I don't know, shopping lists, whatever it is that they're collecting. And the thinking behind architecture and design, not only does it relate to real estate, but it helps inspire people. It can show people houses around the world or houses in their own city and buildings and, talk about new buildings that are going up in their city. And obviously, it can also inspire them for renovations that they're working on, new technology. There's a lot of great articles that we find and that we share that talk about um, new technologies in architecture that can be applied to personal homes as well, which is fantastic for anyone who's renovating or thinking of moving and just to be up to date on what they should be looking for or they should be keeping in mind if they're going into a fixer-upper, for example.
Okay. So the bottom line is it's not about specific real estate in their area, but there might be like an interesting looking picture. And then I guess it's attached to you as the agent. It's something real estate related, but a little bit tangential to just saying, hey, uh, come buy a house with me or
Yeah,
something.
and also large photos and what we call house porn are great because if you look at, for instance, Home and Garden Television, etc., the majority of their shows are about just looking at homes, gardens, and the like. And so, big, bold images of design, architecture ideas, and that kind of thing are very captivating and very good for engagement.
Great. I really apologize, everybody. Let me just make sure. Can somebody? I had a few people say that they can't see the screen, and I'm really sorry about that. Let me make sure you can do that. I'm going to pause showing my screen and then re-show it, and hopefully that'll fix our GoToWebinar issue here. Sean, did it pop up for you?
I'm personally still seeing the City Blast homepage.
Yeah, all righty. Bear with us here, guys. Screen sharing. Stop showing screen.
Okay, change now to the title page.
Good. Now let's go ahead and do show now.
Okay, perfect.
All
There we
right.
go.
Sorry
I've
about
got
that,
you.
everybody. Thanks for letting me know. It took me a minute to realize you guys were all chatting to us. Okay, so there on the screen, everybody, is our first example. So you guys can feel free to swipe this sort of idea. Maybe put it on a calendar and or just keep it in the back of your head. This is a type of post you might post, something about architecture and design. Right here. Now the second one we have beautiful homes and gardens. So just pictures of beautiful homes and gardens. Am I getting this right?
Yep, it's sort of an aspirational type thing, which allows people to drool, basically. Hey, what would you like your place to look like? And it indulges in that sort of fantasy world of the ultimate upgrade. What would be a beautiful, and you can pick it all apart and dissect it into different rooms and exterior, interior, all that sort of thing that's around the home buying experience. But the idea here is to have something that's a bold and beautiful image that's aspirational.
Gotcha. And I noticed a little technique in your copy here. You're kind of speaking directly to the person viewing, like, do you spend a lot of time? I guess that would be to try to get engagement on the post.
Grace?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we tend to ask a lot of questions because that prompts people to respond and start a conversation in comments, or at least click through if they're like, yeah, actually, I do spend a lot of time in my yard. With Beautiful Homes and Gardens as well, obviously we post a lot of incredible imagery, but there's also a lot of tips that we provide. For example, like maintaining your garden depending on the season. There's a lot on decor and decor trends, which people really love because it obviously relates to even prepping a home if you're putting it up for sale in the fall or just looking to update your home. There are a lot of tips for current home buyers that agents are able to share with existing clients and stay top of mind as a real estate expert who is always providing helpful information to their network.
Gotcha. Cool. So beautiful homes and gardens. Again, I'm seeing a theme here with the big, and we kind of know this, the big, beautiful pictures, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a theme just to get engagement in this, I guess, to stop people in their tracks.
Yeah, and question marks. You'll see a theme of putting question marks and calls to action. We noticed that engagement goes way up when you make sure to put a question mark or a call to action, so we'll probably be able to see that explored throughout as well.
Cool. Good tactic. Bold and buzzworthy. I know this is where you guys have a little fun, I think, with the posting.
Yep. So in the bold and buzzworthy category, we are kind of pushing a bit of the limits. This one's a little bit tame, actually, for the bold and buzzworthy category, but it's mostly things that are sensational or exciting or whatever. So sometimes we would do things in there that are about, like, maybe a celebrity is going into foreclosure, or things like the craziest houses around the world. And this category is meant to be sensational and drive engagement based around sort of the excitement and mystery of what is going to be revealed within. And that's another theme you'll see throughout the types of posts that we do, is we like to create a bit of mystery. This one nicely dovetails into that. You can see the comment that our expert wrote on here: can you guess where the most expensive home in the world is? So it gets people kind of thinking as well, and kind of playing a game. Now they have to click just to find out the answer.
Gotcha. A little bit of curiosity. And I'm wondering if, you guys, you're doing a lot of emotional stuff like the sensational, and there's a little bit of subconscious emotion there. Does that get attached to the agent? I mean, is there any science behind that, or or is that just something we can assume is kind of happening? Like, if you get like kind of a fun feeling when you see this, do you feel a fun sort of affinity toward the agent? Or is that just hocus pocus?
Grace?
Well, I would say in general it's more conversational, and it keeps things on a lighter note so that not every single post is, hard-hitting real estate facts and news, which people are interested in. But obviously with social media, the most important thing is having great engagement so that you're shown throughout more feeds and more people are paying attention to what you're seeing. So we really like to create a variety of educational and informational posts mixed in with sort of lighthearted and fun posts such as the bold and buzzworthy posts. There's definitely a big focus and tie-in with celebrity home news in this section, and honestly, if you're looking for clicks, post just about anything relating to a celebrity and you're going to get the clicks, which is going to help your organic engagement, and that's really important to keep in mind when you are strategizing how to be at the forefront of your social media and actually getting the engagement that you're looking for.
So use celebrities.
Yeah, not every single post, but sprinkle them in every once in a while. And people are usually just on Facebook hanging out, and there's a reason why there are so many celebrity-focused news sites that do so well. People love reading about celebrities.
Yeah, and you can push the limits too. Like this is, if it's not your style, then don't. But as far as you're comfortable in going, you can push the limits, which is why I was saying, you could even focus on negative things like a celebrity foreclosure or a sort of a bad news story that is sensational in nature, because people kind of gravitate toward that sort of thing. Sometimes you want to be all positive spin, and that's fine, but also don't be afraid to kind of have a voice and put something out there that's really going to intrigue and inspire people to click or read.
Cool. Buzzworthy. Client Finder, I really like this one. We do at Reticulous we talk a lot about calls to action and direct response, getting somebody to actually, respond and not having a lot of, obviously you don't have a lot of time with people's attention. This post is great. It's just really quick. If you could move tomorrow, where would you move and why? And then people, I'm sure there were comments on this. You guys, we grabbed the snapshot, but I assume that people quickly answer A, B, C, and it helps your post show up higher, or?
Yeah, that's right. We post all sorts of different Client Finder content. We call it Client Finder. It surrounds the concept of making little games, little engagement games out of your posts. So you can do all sorts of ideas here. This category, it really allows you to get pretty creative. You can do a question like this, but you could also show an image A, B, and C and say one of these is for sale right now in this market, but only one of them's listed over $1 million. Can you guess which one? One of these homes belongs to Sylvester Stallone. Can you guess which one? All sorts of things like that. You can play tons of different guessing games and higher or lower. Basically, all the stuff that you see on Price is Right is adaptable to Client Finder style games.
And then, at the end there, edge rank, right, I think is the term. I assume that when people answer this, it increases the chances that that post and your face is going to show up in more people's streams by getting them. Yep.
Yeah.
Definitely. The more people that are commenting, the more feeds that this post would show up in. And people have a lot of fun with it. And for the agent, it's such a helpful type of status update, because whether it's, this exact post, or if you're asking where you see yourself in 5 years, are you going to be moving in the same house, upgrading, downgrading, it just gives the agent a sense of where each individual person is and what they're thinking for the next few years in their lives, and then you can make a mental note and get in touch with them right away or get in touch with them in a few months. It's just a really fantastic way to keep tabs on your current clients or people who can become new clients or in your Facebook.
Gotcha. And I think behind the scenes here, the word touch is big in real estate. Like, Keller Williams, 33 touches and things like that. So every time somebody sees your face, that's like a micro touch, right? And
yeah, and one thing to realize about your Facebook engagement is about 90% in our experience, and we've done approaching 1.7 million individual Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn status updates. We track all the results of those posts, and about 90% of your touches come from clicks, which are invisible to you on Facebook. So if you create a post and you get 2 likes and a comment, you actually probably got about 30 touches. You probably had about 27 people who went and read that thing and didn't react in any visible way on Facebook. So don't get discouraged by having what seems like low interaction, because hiding in the background are a lot of touches that you also need to factor into the effectiveness of your campaign. And if you certainly if you use City Blast, some of you probably do, you know that all of your touches are recorded in your dashboard, so it's a great place to see that effect actually taking place.
Yeah, I'll show that in a minute. I noticed that analytics was something new that popped up. It must have been the last few months, right? You guys, it's recent. Um,
We've been adding and adding stuff as we go along, yeah.
so this one is Habitat for Humanity. Is that just posts about Habitat for Humanity to show that you have a charitable side, or is it just charitable stuff in general?
We have Habitat for Humanity, we have Easter Seals, we have a number of different charities that we showcase content for. And yes, it shows that the agent cares and wants to support some of these causes. Obviously, Habitat for Humanity has a nice dovetail into the real estate world, so a lot of people enjoy that. But yeah, it shows that you've kind of got a heart and care about things that are outside of the scope of just making yourself richer. And it's just an easy thing to do. And we, as a company, like helping out charitable organizations. We have a massive reach. City Blast reaches about 5.5 million people a day by posting content
Wow.
to our members' accounts. So everyone's helping out and working together to improve the world.
Cool. So that's content type. Post charitable stuff that makes you look like a nice person, even if you're not. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sure everybody here is a nice person.
Also, charity. I don't know if you read our Real Trends report. Real Trends usually turns to us for social data for their annual report, and we published a big thing in there about what type of content engages the best. And believe it or not, charitable content engages at least double as well as any other form of content we've found in the history of the company. So. Charity gets a lot of likes, comments, and shares. So if you're looking for great engagement and also to show that you've got a heart of gold, then some charitable content is a good way to do that.
Great. I'd never thought of that one. That's a good one. Inspirational quotes. This one, yeah, you see people doing this, and I'm assuming these get high engagement as well, right? People agreeing or disagreeing.
Yeah, lots of people like them, and you get tons of inspirational quotes or content categories. It was something that we always recommended for people to add in, and then we just thought, hey, we'll just make it a category so that you don't even have to do it. We'll just do it for you. So, we sourced some of all of the best quotes that there are, and people just go crazy for quotes. As soon as I put up a quote on Facebook, it gets 10 likes in 1 minute, and it just makes everyone feel good, and everyone wants to share that message. So again, it's just another great type of content to encourage a lot of engagement and see a lot of engagement from it.
Yeah, and it's already stuff that's, these are famous people. It's already stuff people know about, so you almost can't go wrong. You're going to get people nod their heads and say, yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, and
exactly.
It's not just a famous person. It's like one of the most iconic things they ever put to paper, right? So it's some little aphorism or anecdote or whatever that has already stood the test of time. You already know people like this. When you're pulling a brand new article off of the Wall Street Journal or CNN or Home and Garden Television or whatever it is, you're rolling the dice a little bit because it hasn't proven itself out, and so you're trying to guess what is going to be the best. And the way that we do that at City Blast is we use engagement algorithms. So we test using metadata the subject matter, the headline, the images, and the content of the articles, and hold it up against how well those types of articles have done historically using software to compare them. But you almost don't need software because these have stood the test of time. If they're famous inspirational quotes, you already know people are going to like them because thousands of people before have liked them.
Cool. Yep. So inspirational quotes. And guys, again, these are all templates. Feel free to sort of scribble down notes here. The document that we're showing on the screen, you'll actually get along with a replay of this for later reference. We had a few people ask about that. So you will get a copy of all these too. Local listing showcase gets right to the heart of the matter, right? This is a little more direct, I think.
Yeah. So a lot of times you'll hear people say that you shouldn't put listings on social media, and to a degree, they're right, but it depends on the treatment of the listing. So our social media experts always take in listings and then try to create a bit of a story around them. And we also don't feature, for instance, the price on right on the page or anything like that. We want to kind of build a story almost like a home and garden television would for one of the television shows where you're going around looking at properties. We're trying to create that same sort of environment where we want you to kind of open the front door, take a step in, look around, get a feel for it, because people love listings. People who are not even shopping for homes are on the MLS looking at listings all the time. They're watching shows about listings. So we believe that listings actually are, and we have the data to prove out that they are really valuable content. The trick is to not do it too often, and also to treat the listings like content. Don't treat them like something you're trying to hawk on your Facebook wall. Treat them like a piece of content that people might be interested in, and that comes through in your images and how you do your write-up and all that kind of thing.
Cool. Okay, that's a good point. So don't try to sell the listing right off. Use the listing as content, knowing that the people who have real estate on their mind and might be hot to buy or sell will likely reach out to you.
Yeah, the people who want to buy the listing are going to reach out to you and offer to buy the listing or ask to see it one way or another. It's all the other people who are not trying to buy a listing right now that you need to think about, and so you need to craft it like a piece of content that's going to be of interest broadly to people who don't even want to buy that property. And I think that's where a lot of agents are missing the boat, is that you're trying to create a nice feed of information and excitement and entertainment, and also listings can be a part of that if they're treated like they're meant to be entertaining or interesting, and not like the person's meant to pick up the phone and call you right away.
Gotcha.
I think that's such an important part. I mean, if you treat it like a piece of content, people too love to compare pricing of their home compared to something else that's nearby in the neighborhood, or like a comparable size, just to see sort of what's going on in their local market based on pricing, and they can sort of check these out, look through the gallery. I mean, I think it's really important to spread these out a little bit so that you're not bombarding people with like listing after listing in their news feed, and just spacing them out a little bit. But this 100% works. I mean, I found my house in my Facebook newsfeed, and I wasn't even shopping for a home, so it's proof that this works.
Yeah. I like the term, you're saying spacing out. I think what's cool about having like this nice handful, 15 templates, is that you can actually, before somebody sees another local listing, if you make this part of your schedule, and I'm sure this is how you guys do it, right? Is you just rotate these through so they don't show that often?
Yeah, we actually have our experts, when they're turning to each client's account to do the account management for that day, has a record of all the stuff that has been posted, and we're maintaining a nice balance between different content types, and that's obviously something that you can emulate. Don't post, for instance, 2 of the same content types in a row. Generally speaking, you're going to want to mix it up, and listings are no exception. I would say leave at least 2 posts of not listings in between your listings, so that they're only a third of your posts are listings, as an example.
Cool. So we've gotten through a bunch here. We've got more coming. Local real estate news. And I guess, I mean, if you're in a local market, you would know the news going on. And I guess you guys sourced it. Yeah. Talk about this.
Yeah, we also source local news. Our clients tell us where they are, and then based on their location, we obviously source local news that it makes sense for them. And we sort of mix this up. It could be local real estate news that's about the local real estate market and the housing crisis and what's going on specifically within the real estate market. But then we make it sort of a lifestyle category as well, because most people in your Facebook network are probably in the same area as you, and they want to know what's going on in the city. And as a real estate agent, you want to be someone who's perceived as being in the know and on top of what's going on in the city, especially if it's relating to, okay, for example, for Brad, there's a new winery, and in that location there's a lot of wineries, so he's talking about that. It makes sense for him, and he interested the people who live there. For example, for Toronto, I think we had something about like the top 10 best ice cream spots in the city, and that was on Sean's wall, and it just went crazy. You got like 50 comments, and people were just sharing where they love to go and using the list, and thanks for sharing this article. So they want to know what's happening in the city and just get some
So,
recommendations for where to go.
so in terms of sourcing that, you would just kind of maybe subscribe to some local blogs or the local news
Yeah,
channel.
what we do is every time, so we service markets all across North America. It doesn't matter what market you're in, great or small. And anytime we have a brand new market that we haven't had a client in before and someone joins us and becomes a client from that market, we will go in on the first day and start to find the best news sources that we can coming out of that individual market. And then we set reminders and aggregate new content, new articles that are real estate focused, coming out of at minimum 10 sources from that market. And then we'll look at all the stuff that's coming out each day in a feed. And as I said, we have a little piece of software that ranks all the articles that our experts can use to rank and suggest which one historically we think will do the best based on its content, what it's about, the meta tags, the headline, and other things. And then they'll use obviously their best judgment to choose one from that list and then post it out to you and mix it up and all that kind of thing. But definitely local is great. Because it lets people know that you're in tune with the local market. You can do all the celebrity stuff and the quiz games and everything in the world, but you also want to make sure usually to have some good local content in there so that they know that you're on the ball and you're focused on the market that you're working in.
Great. So local interest stuff. Another template. We've got a few more here. Mortgage news. That seems like it would just directly lead to people asking you how they can get money for a house, right? Is that the thinking?
Yeah,
Or
yeah. Mortgage news is great because one thing that is really good about posting mortgage news is it's actually the people who are most interested in it are usually current homeowners. So somebody who has a home and might be interested in doing a refinance or in changing products or in selling and moving or whatever would be interested. Also, mortgage rates obviously affect pricing. So people who are tuned into mortgage news tend to be also more active in the market, and this is a great way to keep the conversation going with those folks.
cool. So get with your mortgage lender, partner up, ask them to pull together a few things or to give you a post every now and then.
Yep.
News from around the web. I guess this would just be sort of hodgepodge, fun stuff from Yahoo or something, or
Yeah, it ties a little bit back into sort of buzzworthy news, but it will tackle real estate news from around the world. It can have sort of top 10 lists, like most romantic destinations around the world, all kinds of things. Again, this one is really based on helping with engagement and performance on social media. So it's a little bit of a mix, but generally you're not going to find local news in this content category, obviously, but one of the ones from this category that does really well is like the top 10 travel destinations in the world to add to your bucket list, and people love sharing that one, and then in the comments they often share where they've been or any places that they think should be added to the list as well, so it creates a really nice conversation between people in your network.
cool. So news. Oh, this one's really great. The polls and quizzes. Again, another one that's just going to get you direct engagement and up that edge rank, right?
Yeah, that's right. We love lists, which we'll talk about also, but we also like polls and quizzes. It's pretty clear why. It gets engagement going. When you poll the crowd or when you quiz people, it gets them engaged. There's an obvious call to action for the reader to get involved. So it's a great way to make sure that you're not just broadcasting your voice out and nobody's responding. It's great to do polls and quizzes and get people talking back.
Great. So
What's
just
great about these updates too is that you're prompting people to respond with their answers right in the comment section, so you can see exactly who is saying what versus directing them to a quiz on a publication or even something that you've created yourself where at the end of it you might just see a percentage and you're not sure exactly who said what, and so you can individually respond to people in the comments, or you can take it offline, give them a call or send them a personal message on Facebook if they said, if they said, I want a bigger kitchen, we've outgrown this house and this kitchen now that we have kids, you can send them a message and say, hey, I actually have a listing right now. It might be perfect for you. Have a look. If you want to see it, let me know. It's a really great way to start a conversation with somebody who might be in the initial stages of buying or selling a home.
Great. And the key is to just ask a direct question and not send them off the post so they can respond.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, direct real estate news. So,
I mean, this one's pretty obvious. This is nuts and bolts. We're talking about a lot of strategies outside of the norm, or at least on the fringe of what you might expect. But this one is right kind of at the core of it. You want to provide people with real estate news on the market, talking about all the peripheral things like polls and quizzes and inspirational quotes and big pictures and news around the web and celebrities and whatever. Is great, but also you want to put some bedrock in there which shows that you are staying on top of the real estate market. And so don't be afraid to also put some real estate news in, just to make sure that you're mixing it up like we talked about, so you're not always just the boring news person either.
cool. We have, real estate technology. And I wonder, when I saw this, is this so that you can network with other real estate agents, or is it?
No, usually these are consumer focused, so you can see there are 10 free apps that will change how you decorate. We're usually keeping up with the leading edge of technology as far as real estate sales goes, yes, but so that the consumer is aware of it. And then also just things for around the home, new technologies, smart home, heated this, laser that, whatever, keeping people feeling like you're on the leading edge. And the subtext here is that you're following trends and you're staying on the advanced guard of knowledge in the real estate industry, because that's going to give people a comfort level that you can provide solutions that they may not be aware of, or come up with ideas or give tips and ideas and all that kind of thing. From a position of knowing where the market is headed and what the state of the art is.
Cool. So I just talk about real estate tech. Another template.
Yep.
Tips for living well.
Grace is an expert at this one.
Yeah, this is a really fun one. It's a little bit more general and very conversational, and so you can choose what you want, what living well means to you, but whether it's like a recipe with seasonal fruits and vegetables that you're sharing, or it could be travel tips. There's a lot of green living as well, which is really handy. For example, some tips on green cleaning products, or how to make your home greener, really, just as the previous content type was how to make your home smarter. This is how to make your life greener. So, and there's also really great ones too that kind of tie back into inspirational quotes. There's a lot of lists on, 10 ways to be happier, and basically like general well-being that a lot of people who are on Facebook enjoy reading, and it makes them feel good about themselves, or again inspires them. Top 10 best beaches in America. I mean, it's summertime and people are traveling around. Maybe they can't afford to fly to Europe, so yeah, if they can hop in the car and just go to the beach, that's great, and it's a fantastic recommendation that you provided them.
Cool.
Yeah, this one's also just like kind of about feeling good, we've talked about aspirational, and we've talked about conveying your knowledge and your expertise, but there's something to be said for people just kind of like feeling that you're a good person and that you're kind of spreading around a good vibe. And tips for living well are all sorts of things like that. How to, make your home more green, improve the air quality, 10 things you can do to give your kids a better life at home, what you can do with your backyard today that'll make your house more fun. And it kind of acknowledges that we're all, at the end of the day, just people trying to, have a good time and a good life and a healthy life. And it's putting that out for other people to see, and augmenting your marketing strategy with a sense of the fact that you're not a robot.
Cool. Tips for living well. Let's see. Okay, so tips and guides for clients. I guess this gets a little more specific to real estate then.
Yeah, exactly. So this is you demonstrating your knowledge as a real estate agent as it extends beyond what a layperson would know. So um, it's like how to choose an agent, how to choose a lawyer, how to choose a mortgage professional, what time of year to buy or sell, how to prepare your home for for sale, tips for how to find a home in the fastest and easiest way possible, how to not disrupt your life when moving. All the things that a real estate agent knows that a regular person doesn't know would fall into the tips and guides for clients. And it's the agent sharing with their network all the little helpful tools that will make a move more profitable, more successful, less stressful, etc.
So somebody you went to high school, and going back to the practical implications here, somebody you went to high school with, maybe you just friended them last week, or they're a friend of a friend. They happen to see this post and they go, "Oh, I didn't know Brent was in real estate. That's cool. Maybe I'll reach out to him." You know,
That's partly what all of these are for. Yep, but certainly this one's great because it really demonstrates that you are an expert. Yeah, and shows that you are a helper, not more than just an expert. You're not a person who's just out there to get money. You're trying to improve the experience for the person who you're working with.
gotcha. Top 10 list. You hinted at this, but I guess it's always a good formula. I know when writing a blog post or doing anything online, if people just like lists.
People love lists. People just go crazy for top 10 lists of anything. I mean, obviously, it doesn't have to be exactly 10, it can be top 5 or top 20, whatever it is, but people love lists. That's why you see tons of articles all over the web that focus on lists. And we decided that it's so popular, we wanted to focus an entire content category on lists specifically. And obviously, we sort of source the list and make sure that they fit in with the content types that we focus on in general at City Blast. So for this one, top 10 awesome pools and ponds around the world, and the imagery that goes along with this is so beautiful as well, that you're also providing people with images they can use for their own Pinterest boards or keep them for their own scrapbooks, which is really fun as well. But these can be serious lists where the top and things you need to know before putting your home on the market, which obviously is very important to a lot of people who are getting ready for the fall market or whenever they're getting ready to sell, but they can also be more fun. It could be the top 10 green foods to make sure you have in your fridge for healthy eating. So they can definitely vary, but people love lists. They're fun. They're fun and quick to read, which I think is key. People can just click on them and look over them quickly, and they don't have to invest too much time in reading a full article.
Great. And then that was our last one on the list of templates. So I think the idea here was that we could give everybody, if you guys go through this doc and you listen to the recording, you could kind of just even calendar out a 2-week plan, right? One of these a day, maybe. How often is too often, guys?
We used to offer for our folks to post for you twice a day, and it turned out to be overkill. We saw people who turned up their posting that high actually saw a large drop off in engagement, and so we turned it down so that the maximum now is once per day, and we think that's kind of about the maximum of where you want to be. The sweet spot really for real estate content is probably in and about the 3 to 5 times a week zone, and then you probably want to match that with personal content. So here's a picture of me at dinner. Maybe tag the restaurant in it and the restaurant owner so they feel like you're a great person for helping them out, and that kind of thing. Maybe you're out at the park, maybe you have a random thought, whatever. Put like your own vibe into it, and then the other half of the time do real estate content. So probably somewhere in the 3 to 5 real estate related posts a week range is where you want to be, I would estimate, based on our engagement.
Cool. So you could in theory just schedule a recurring appointment, and then have a content type in that recurring appointment and do that. Or of course, we got Sean and Grace here. If you want to use their service, I'm just going to go into a real quick City Blast, right? Cityblast.com. Do you guys do a free trial still?
Yeah, absolutely. So we completely stand behind the product. It is a 2-week free trial to get our social media experts working for you for free. After the 2-week trial, we are also offering for the folks on the webinar today a 20% lifetime discount. Grace, what's the promo code that they're going to use for the discount? Is it
Reticulous.
RETEC?
Reticulous
Okay,
will
so
get you 20% off.
Great. So
yeah, so the promo code is Reticulous. Yeah, you may want to type that in so people can see it. We are giving 20% off for life. The normal price is only $60 a month. I used to charge at the beginning, when I was starting out as a social media manager for real estate agents, I was charging $1,500 a month. We charge you $60 a month, and with the 20% discount, you're going to actually get charged much less than that. It goes down to about $48 per month. No contract. You can cancel anytime. We stand behind the product. Our average member makes, through the service, through the leads from the service, about $8,000 extra a year from their social media accounts, from a service that costs you $48 a month. To me, it seems like a no-brainer. If you're a hardcore person and you want to do this yourself, then absolutely do it yourself. We gave you kind of a really good overview today of all the stuff you could do. But if you think, you know what, it'd be nice to have someone helping me out with this on the back end, or if you want to just try us for 2 weeks and see what our experts post, it's completely risk-free. So give us a whirl. And with the Reticulous discount, 20% off, thanks to your friend Ryan here.
All right. Well, thanks, guys. I actually I have another appointment, so I don't want to rush you guys off. And if I was going fast at the end there, I apologize. Everybody, I posted the document that we were working off with the templates into the chat, and then we'll get you a recording of this with the document the next day or so. And do go ahead and try it out, guys. I know the product really well, City Blast. I have it on my Facebook. I've been in the dashboard a lot. These guys are constantly developing, and they are really committed to the product. So highly recommend at least trying out that free trial. So thanks, guys, and we'll talk soon.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us on. Thanks, everyone.
Okay.
Thanks, Ryan. Thanks, everyone.